Hi everyone, Lisa here from Down to Earth Gardening and Design. Today we're doing a video on perennials in containers. So this is a real budget-friendly video here. We have a client that had these stray containers. There's two of them that each used to have a partner. They were matching sets and something happened to one each along the way. Whole other story. But they had these two random plastic urns that they were getting ready to throw away. So I said, no, I think I have an idea for them. So what we're going to be doing is it's spring and we have some freebie plants because we've been doing a lot of dividing that we are going to plant up these containers with. And I think design wise, they add a really nice vertical element, really nice garden feature for these gardens here. It's a beautiful home here. And I have 3 tips about how you plant them. And then I'm going to walk you through what we're doing here today. So we do live in New England. The winters are cold. We're in zone 6B. So first tip is if you are going to put perennials in a container, you have to pick the right container. So luckily the two that they have here are plastic, but you could use a material as long as it's not ceramic or terracotta because those will crack in the winter. We have here some plastic and resin. Fiberglass is also great, and those are perfect because we're going to be leaving them out once they're planted. Plant it and forget it. And then the other part about the container is it has to have some drainage holes. So our plants can't be sitting in standing water. Number 2 is that you have to pick the right perennial. So we really need some hardy perennials. We have to be thinking about the sun orientation when we select them, but something that's going to be really hardy for your zone. So we had a few options when we were dividing, and I will talk about them more when we're planting the containers up. This container here is in full sun, so it has to be a full sun perennial. And then number 3 is when you're doing this project, you really have to do the planting well before winter comes so that the plants can get settled. So they'll really start putting out some roots and they will be hardy and overwinter well. So we're planting in the spring, but I have planted perennial containers right through until about early fall is my cutoff because like I said, it's really important that they have enough time to get established and set. So that's it, folks. Those are the 3 main tips. And then we're going to show you here what we're doing. So you may have noticed that we have a little bit of rebar that is spiked down through the center here. And that's because these urns are tippy. And that has something to do with how we lost a couple along the way, why they're now singles and not pairs. But it's great if you're putting them in the garden because then you can just take the rebar and spike it right through and it will stabilize it and it's really secure in the ground here. Next, we're going to put some rocks in the bottom and you're going to see us filling it with soil. And after we do that, we're going to talk about what we're planting in these beauties. Okay, so we have container number 1 of 2 prepped and ready to be planted. Josh filled it up with some nice potting soil with organic matter and some slow release fertilizer. If it doesn't have slow release fertilizer in it, you can always add that separately. It's a really nice little addition because we want to have these planters. Basically, we want to plant them and forget them. So the slow release is a nice little addition. So I'm going to be planting two nice little perennials that we divided. So two freebies today. And like I said, this is a full sun location. So number one is some creeping Jenny. So I love this for containers because it has a really nice draping effect, super hardy, and it stays true to its color pretty much all through the winter. So it's got a shallow root system, so we're just going to make sure that we really settle this in. And then plant number two is some ground cover sedum. You may have seen my videos on the ground cover sedum. I love them because they're not aggressive, but yet they will grow pretty rapidly, super hardy, nice bright colors. And because it is a sedum, it doesn't have high water needs, so it's pretty low maintenance. So for this year, we may add a couple little annuals here just to fill in our gaps, but this is going to take over this whole container. I would say just this first growing year, it should be filled out by fall. So that's pretty exciting. All right, so now I'm going to bring you to container number two. Okay, so before we get to container number two, I wanted to say that the other option that we had for perennial planting in the first container was this grass. So this is Hamel, it's ornamental grass, a dwarf variety. You may have seen it in some other videos, very drought tolerant. But we decided against it. Clients just preferred the texture and the colors of the others, and they have quite a few grasses around the property. But this is a full sun item. Now, this second container here, this urn, Josh already has it prepped for us. It is in a lot of shade here. So what we selected, and we have plenty of right now, is a beautiful hosta. It's a variegated hosta, and we're going to fill the container with it because we're doing a lot of hosta dividing right now. So I'm going to get to it here and just show you what I've got. So this is what we're going to be putting in here. And the other thing that's nice about the hosta is it isn't just foliage. We're also going to get some flower spikes. So that'll be great. Okay, we just want to make sure that there's no air pockets. Okay, so before we wrap it up, I just want to talk a little bit about aftercare. I have one more tip at the end, just a little something special that I like to do with these containers. But for aftercare, containers do dry out quicker than plants that are planted in the ground. So make sure that you check your container. Spring is a great time to do this because it's usually pretty rainy. But I would just make sure that it doesn't completely dry out. And so every couple of days, check it if we don't have some rain. And then that's it. Just enjoy it. So I do love my annuals in containers because they give us season-long color, but these are pretty easy on the budget. So we have our free divided plants. We had some leftover urns, and really we just needed to purchase the soil and a little bit of manpower and woman power. So for my added tip, I did just mention that the containers dry out quick. So what I like to do is mulch them. So this is a yard, gardens that we've been taking care of for about 12 years. Some really lovely clients here, beautiful home. And I hope to bring you a couple more videos at least on this property and these gardens. But we haven't mulched yet. So what I'm going to do is just steal a little bit of last year's mulch, and I'm just going to scatter a little mulch on the container, and that will help retain some moisture. So that's it for today. If you liked our video, please go ahead and tap like and subscribe to our channel. I love doing these videos for you, and I really hope that you enjoyed this one.